Antes de empezar, si quieres clases de inglés conmigo, métete a englishwithdane.com/classes y reserva tu plaza. For this course hay clases de grupos reducidos de 4 personas max y para alumnos de nivel intermedio 1 e intermedio 2. So, ya sabes, métete a englishwithdane.com/classes y disfruta de clases semanales muy dinámicas, prácticas y diseñadas para que mejores de manera rápida y eficiente. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Welcome to English with Dane, a podcast designed to improve your English. As always, I'm your host, Dane, and you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at English with Dane. If you want full transcripts for future episodes of English with Dane para que no te pierdas ni una palabra so you don't miss a single word, go to englishwithdane.com/transcripts. Today's episode is a conversation with NESH from Live and Speak English. We didn't know each other until this conversation, so it was cool getting to know her and pick her brain about her approach to language learning. I'll link her socials in the description so you can check out her stuff. All right, let's get to it then. You are listening to episode 151 of English with Dane. Hit it.
Did you ever notice when British people sing, they lose their British accent and they sing like an American accent?
I just watched a video on TikTok about that.
Yeah.
It's this girl who's like an incredible singer, and she's like, this is why I sing in an American accent, because it sounds better. She does it, and then she changes like to her English accent, which I think also sounds great. But
exactly, that just proves like the impact of songs and music and singing along with music that improves our pronunciation, because like even native speakers of English from Britain copy the sounds of an American person.
let me ask you about your accent, because I mean you're from the Philippines, but you spend a lot of time. You moved to Dublin, you said, when you were 11. But I'm not hearing like a very Irish accent. Like how?
No, I moved.
What's that about?
So actually, my accent changes depending on who I'm talking to. When I'm with Irish people, I probably tend to like talk more like them, not completely, but similar. And I actually grew up in the northwest of Ireland, so that's near Galway. And I did my degree in Dublin. But in the northwest, there isn't really much of an accent. It's quite similar to the American accent, actually. And I really like it because it's very clear, and that's what my students like about me when I'm teaching, because they don't have any problems with understanding me. But yeah, it just depends. When I'm with Spanish people, maybe I would say B instead of V. Do you know what I mean? And when I'm with my parents, I would talk in English but with a Filipino accent. It's very what you call it, flexible.
Yeah, that happens to me. That happens to me in Spanish. Like, my Spanish is my default Spanish, let's say, is Peruvian. And when I'm with my parents and with my brother and with a few friends that I'm very comfortable with, my Peruvian accent comes out. But then sometimes I'm with my Spanish friends and I can't help it. I just become. It's like my brain takes over and I can't decide sometimes, you know. And here's like kind of a deep question, not really related to English as well, or maybe it is. Does that like give you like weird like identity things?
Oh my God, I wrote this down to ask you this. I have like a little identity crisis because I don't fully consider myself as 100% Filipina or 100% Irish or whatever, because when I'm in Ireland, I feel more Filipina, and when I'm in Philippines, I feel more Irish, because you don't really feel like you're exactly the same as the people you're with. Totally. And that's why I feel like I'm at ease here in Spain, because I'm neither Spanish nor I'm just a foreigner, basically. So I don't have that problem here because I don't feel like the other. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. That happens to me in like if I go to Peru, I feel like people are listening to me being like, what's up with your accent?
Yeah.
And when I'm here, people are also like, wait, where are you from? Like, are you South
Exactly.
American? Like, where are you? Yeah, and then when it happens in English as well, because I'll speak to someone from the UK and they're like, "Oh, what part of the US are you from?" But then I
Mm-hmm.
speak to someone from the US and they're like, "What's happening here?" Because they can tell that I'm not. It's not like
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
like an American
yeah,
accent. It's more American, obviously, but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
interesting. And that I swear this like this is one of the reasons why I feel so strongly about accents in general. Like I think a big portion of English learners are maybe not obsessed, but they're like they place a lot of emphasis on their accent and they want to
yeah.
sound American or they want to sound English. And I'm just like, it
No,
doesn't really
bro.
matter. It just sound like you, as long as you're saying
Literally.
things correctly and people can understand you. Like, don't obsess about your accent because it's much more of a personal, internal thing. I mean,
Yeah,
if you love accents and you love and that's like a passion of yours, then of course, you know.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I mean, when it comes like when it becomes an insecurity, that's where I'm always like, hey, I love a I love a thick accent from anywhere, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's cool. It just means that
yeah.
you speak another language. No, it's
Exactly. But accents, literally, if you lose your accent, you lose part of your identity. So that's why I kind of put importance on pronunciation, but accent is not that important because they're so different. But people mix them up, and it's like when you see the word Daughther and you pronounce it like daug ter, like nobody's gonna understand you. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
you can say it like daughter or daughter or whatever the way you want that people can
Daughter,
understand you. Yeah, daughter. Like you can say daughter and people will understand you. But
no
that's with
problem.
your accent, but you're pronouncing it like in a way which is intelligible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's great advice. Know the difference between pronunciation and accent. Accent is not as important, but
Mhm.
pronunciation, of course, there's a threshold. No, there's a threshold
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like
yeah.
once you reach a certain pronunciation, you're good, but you need to reach that threshold for people
Exactly.
to be able to understand. I think we were talking about it before we started recording, but
Yeah.
yeah, there obviously it's because it's a weird topic, but
Yeah.
being a native speaker doesn't necessarily mean that you speak the language better, which is a strange
Exactly.
concept for people to grasp. Of course it does,
Yeah, yeah.
but at the same time, maybe it doesn't. Like someone who's learned the language from a super early age and has adopted all the things of native speakers, but at the same time, they don't make the classic native speaker mistakes, maybe, or
Exactly. Yeah.
and like you want the person you want to teach you is a good teacher, is not necessarily a good like user of the language, right? Like
Exactly.
it's not the same thing. I don't think it's the same thing. Have you noticed,
No.
has anyone ever been like, oh no, I wanted classes from a native speaker, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna try to not get offended. You're, you know?
Yeah, actually, I've had one problem. A lot of people like to, I mean, they hear that I speak English well and that I pronounce well, so they don't have a problem with that, and they know that I grew up in Ireland, so they don't have a problem with that. But there was one company in France where I signed up to be it was like an academy anyway, and they were like, okay, we have a place for you, but only for the reception, but not for teaching in the classroom because you're not a native speaker and we're not.
Get out of here, dude. What
Yeah,
are you
I
talking
was
about?
like, all right, bye.
What are your thoughts on levels? Because I've talked about this several times on the podcast, and I think sometimes people obsess over
Yeah,
levels. And
definitely.
what are your thoughts?
I've heard some of your podcasts talking about levels, and yeah, the last week actually, I have a student who works in a bank, and so she has loads of bank vocabulary, and some of those vocabulary belong, according to Cambridge or the CEFR, belong to B1, and then some belong to C1. But then her speaking is like she struggles with speaking, and if you look at the CEFR, it would be like around A2, B1. But she knows vocabulary that belongs to C1 or
Mhm.
C2. And it's like, it's crazy because language is so complex that you can't really measure it that way. Like you say, I have a B1 in English. Yeah, yeah. B1 in what skill, what competence? Because it's not only just reading, writing, listening, and what did I miss? uh,
What,
writing. No,
whatever,
reading,
whatever,
writing,
doesn't
listening,
matter. Yeah,
speaking. Yeah. In the CAFR, I had to study it because I did a master's degree in education.
nice.
Um, there are also like different competences, like pragmatic competences, phonetical competences, your communicative competences. Like you can speak perfect English and not have communication skills. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just so complex to say, I have a B1. And
Yeah, absolutely.
and everyone in Spain has this B1, the paper.
Yeah.
I have a B1. And then you go talk to them and they're like, hello, how are you? And I'm just like, how do you have a B1?
It's tricky, man. It's like it's kind of like um it's like a level you need to reach for. I mean, I had a conversation with Sam about this, another English teacher, and it's like we came to the conclusion like, okay, I understand if you need it to, because you're going to go study somewhere, and
Yeah.
like to register for that university, they require you to have proof, let's say, quote unquote proof,
Yeah.
that you speak English, right? But I feel like it's a little bit antiquated, and it's less relevant year after year. And I think it's bizarre that there are certain words that are from different levels. Like, what makes the word
Yeah.
tree an A1 versus a C1?
Exactly.
Like, why?
Exactly.
Like, some people just got together and they decided that this particular word, it's like a noun,
Yeah.
like a random finance-related noun that anybody could know because they're in that world, or because they just read it, or because it's just a
Exactly.
word. There's words don't have
Yeah.
levels,
I
right?
know. It's like, it depends really what you do in your life. Like, I'm going to tell you a word and you tell me which level Cambridge thinks it's in.
Okay, that's it.
Provider.
Provider. This is so weird. Let's go safe. B1.
It's in C1 according to Cambridge, the Cambridge
Why?
Dictionary. And I'm just like, what?
That's
This
so
is
stupid.
one of the vocabs, that the words that I taught my, my students that works in a bank. Provider, C1 level. Like,
That's so stupid.
and there's this other phrase. I want you to guess
Okay.
what level it is.
This is a fun game. I could do this all day.
You made my day, or that made my day.
That made my day.
To make someone's day.
To make someone's day. Let's go with C1. I don't know.
Nope, it's C2 according to Cambridge. Like, yeah. I was like, I say that every day. Like, oh, this made my day, or this comment made my day.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And I'm just
and
like,
there's that famous line, go ahead, make my day. Right? I don't remember what movie it's from, but like, if you watch movies, then you'll know that you
exactly.
don't need to...
And it's like, wow, I have a C2 now. And you go around telling everyone I have a C2 level. And it's
do you have another one for me, or am I putting you on the spot?
All right, let me give you another one.
Okay. This is a fun bit.
Yeah, I was looking up stuff because before I have been very surprised. Wait 1 second.
Can you hear the wind, by the way, and my door slamming once in a while? Or
no?
Okay, good.
Can
That's
you
a
hear
Spanish one. I always say, can you hear my wind, or no?
All right. I lost the word. Wait 1 second.
No worries.
I love going on the Cambridge Dictionary and just looking up these crazy like level things.
Just made up stuff.
Currency.
Okay. Currency. That has to be pretty basic. No, that has to be A2.
Currency. Let's look it up. It's B1.
B1. Okay, I'm close. But again,
close.
It's all ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
but yeah, it's crazy. Whenever I want to put the definition on my story of a word that I taught that day, and I see that it's C2 or C1, I'm just like, but I use this every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so and I guess you can say it in, like, who's your internet service provider? Or like, I'm trying to be a provider for my family.
Yeah.
Like, it's, it's like, it's just things that are just day to day that someone decided. Exactly. Anyways, I could go on and on about this.
I don't know who decides that, okay, this is going to be level C2. You made my day.
Do you prepare people for those exams as well?
I do. I do. And however, even though I'm kind of against these exams and getting the paper and everything, I do this thing in class where I we focus on the exam and the format, but I also make them live in the language.
Hmm.
Like right now, I'm working on intensive courses, which I'm also kind of against because you can't literally learn a language in 2 months. Intensives are for people who actually have the level already and they want to, pass an exam.
Hmm.
Um, I give these students challenges, like daily challenges, to kind of make them like the language and not kind of consider it as an obligation to get the exam and pass the exam. So, for example, in my C1, I asked them to record themselves at home and telling me what their plans are for the weekend, for example. Like that has nothing to do with the exam, but in class we would focus like, on the writing and the use of English, the reading and the listening and everything like that.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I totally agree with the intensive thing. I mean, my listeners are gonna kill me for what I'm about to say because I always do this. But it's like if you're trying to get in shape, you can't like go to the gym
Oh,
5 hours a day for
yeah.
be like, and now I'm in shape.
I use that metaphor all the time, like that comparison with the gym. It's like if you go to the gym or a class, for example, if you go to a class where they explain the theory of muscles, of all the movements and everything on how to do a push up, and you write that down and you write that down and you go home and you don't do anything, like you don't
Yeah,
practice it.
yeah, yeah,
And then you don't touch it until the next class. It's like, where did you improve? What did you learn?
yeah. I mean
So
that happens so much. Like I don't know that many rules for grammar because because I never learned
you
rules
lived in the
for
language,
how to
yeah.
speak English or how to use English, right? Because I just learned the language. Um,
Hmm.
so like I try to do that. I try to create an environment, a situation in which you're learning the rules like almost subconsciously, right? Like
Yeah.
like try to make it a reflex instead of
Yeah.
being like, oh, okay, I'm speaking in the past, so I need to use this and that, and then it's like, no, I just
Hmm.
want it to be a reflex, like it was for me. Let me ask you this one: what are like some pitfalls that you've noticed students getting stuck in or falling into or whatever, like some classic obstacles? If you want to go as specific as Spanish speaking students, then cool. But what are like classic traps or things like that?
Well, basically what we've talked about before, the just remaining constant, you know what I mean? And like a lot of them start so motivated, like we all do, when we set a goal in the first 2 to 3 days, maybe first week, we're so like consistent and we are so motivated that we do everything. And then after we just fall back down. And this is why I consider myself as an English teacher that like us English teachers, I don't think our job really is just to teach the material like English and grammar and vocabulary. I feel like we have to teach them how to actually learn, like learning to learn, and it's our job as well to keep them motivated and keep them inspired and keep them, I don't know, just help them being constant. And that's why I do those challenges, because you kind of implement them in your life instead of being an obligation in school.
I
So
get it.
yeah.
I get it. Do you think there's like that's kind of where the coaching element comes in? Like I know that's
Yeah.
a word that's like kind of a some people feel strongly about it, but
Hmm.
teaching is what you do in the class, I guess, and coaching is kind of like the overall thing. What you said, keeping someone motivated, keeping someone
Exactly.
on track,
Yeah.
to reach their goals. Because
Yeah.
that's really what it is. Like as a teacher, you're in class teaching them the language, and then
Hmm.
outside of class. But okay, to be honest, like I'm kind of torn about this because if like you're an adult and you're coming to me, I also feel like it's not my job to motivate you. No, like
Yeah, I know.
it's
But I
like
feel like,
I do because I feel like it's beneficial for you and like you're gonna get a better idea, you're gonna have a better experience with me if I'm also helping you like motivate yourself.
hmm,
But you're an adult who's paying for my time and my
yeah.
expertise. So shouldn't shouldn't you be motivated? Like,
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I'm like,
It's tricky because you can't really control other people's emotions. You could just kind of provoke them. And I feel like us talking about our lives and being a little bit more open about our experiences and everything, it makes the class more interesting and motivates them. It doesn't have to be like directly like, okay, I'm motivating you to learn English. It's like, okay, let me motivate you by talking about things that you like or talking about a story in my life that you would find interesting.
what do you find the most difficult thing about, like, when you're teaching someone English? What do you think is the most difficult thing to teach?
The most difficult thing to teach.
I honestly don't know. I'm asking you. I don't have a prepared answer for you.
The most difficult thing, it's not the most difficult thing to teach, but the most difficult thing to convince the students to practice is listening. It's like, I have no control of you improving your listening. Like, I can like play you like tracks, give you exercises in the academies, but it's really up to you. Like, it's not improved in the academy. It's not like vocabulary. I can give you a new list of vocabularies and we can learn them and practice them and put them into context and everything like that. But listening, it's like your job. I can't do it for you, literally, because it's like speaking as well. But really, listening is just listening to songs, watching series and original versions and movies, and that's the most difficult one for me because.
Man, sorry to cut you out. I'm so sick of recommending that to people. Like, it really is one of the best things you can do. But like, every time I say it to someone, I'm like, oh, you should watch movies and shows. I just feel almost like so fake about it. I'm like,
yeah. But people ignore you. People ignore us when we say you need to watch, English films and series, because they think that their concept of learning or studying is with a book, and it's so difficult to convince them to watch or listen to music because you can't force someone to be interested in something.
I think I'm going to start recommending audiobooks, like read books while listening to the audiobook.
I recommend your podcast a lot to my students because
that's awesome. Thanks.
Because you don't only talk about English, you talk about like different topics like history, today in history, and you post like conversations, and it's not just like, okay, the verb to be. And
I just find it so boring. I wouldn't be able to do my podcast if I just spoke about English. Like sometimes, I do have episodes where it's like, okay, phrasal verbs with whatever.
Yeah.
But even then, I try to like find examples in movies, put it into context. And like it almost takes me longer to find the examples in movies and cut those and edit that than it does to write the rest of the episode. But I feel like there's no point if I just tell you like, okay, here's 10 verbs. Here's 10 phrasal verbs with up. I'm like, who cares, man? Like, I want to hear, and I always use like quotes from Titanic or from just like classic movies, because that's what you want to hear. You want to hear people using it. Before we go, what advice do you have for language learners out there?
My advice is literally to just live in the language, meaning that use it as much as you can. And if you do go to classes, don't just depend on your teacher and don't just depend on the classes and don't just speak English in the class. And after class, you don't speak English until the next class. Just basically, if you like cooking, think in English and be like, okay, where's my knife? Or where's the cutting board? Where's the carrot? Do you know what I mean? Like, just do everything in English and it'll become eventually a habit. Because when we do things constantly, constantly,
both apply.
It becomes a habit. It's like going to the gym. If you stop going to the gym, and if you stop as well, this happens to me when I go to the gym, I don't know, 7 days straight, and then for one day I stop. It's like, okay, nah. I can go the next day. It's like
it gets easier to not go when you start.
Exactly. It's a trap. It's literally a trap.
That's good
And that's
advice.
why my name is Live and Speak English. It's because I want people to know that vivir el idioma es hablarlo. Like that's what I had to do with Spanish. I had to think and dream, and I dream in Spanish now because I've been thinking and doing everything in Spanish even before living in Spain. And yeah, that's basically it.
That's good advice. Well, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it so much.
You're
It was
welcome.
good meeting you as well because we also just met.
Yes.
So we'll stay in touch and do more
Definitely.
stuff.
Definitely.
All right, that's it for this episode of English with Dane. I hope you enjoyed the show and I hope you got something from it. Let me know if you like these conversation episodes. Give me your feedback. You can also follow NESH at Live and Speak English on Instagram and TikTok. That's Live and Speak English, and me at English with Dane. All right, thanks for listening. Talk soon. Later.